Good afternoon. It is August the 2nd, 2016. Time to recap the trading for today in the E-mini. This morning we came in with a short bias to see if we could take out 21.55.57. So we had support at 21.50, 21.55. That's basically where our buy areas were. We wanted to sell 62s to 64. Caught that high there pretty well. That trade, all worked. Produced pretty nice trading down here. Big retest failure. If you were late to the game and took this monkey trade right here, no worse than a scratch. That is a counter trend trade. Come back in. Here's an S. Does close above the blue line. You missed that one. Here's a monkey trade. No worse than a scratch. Nice retest failure trade here, followed by an S. That's a positive winning trade. Counter trend trade right here in the 40-42 area. All these trades produce small winners, and then market's still going on. Here's a retest failure. Monkey trade right here. So far, no worse than a scratch and a small winner. So the idea, level, had a square right here, deceleration. Idea was to get short, level 62 to 64, had a square, deceleration, had everything in place, take the trade and see what happens. And the trade developed nicely. And if you got short up in that area, you were short in the 62 area, and eventually the first stop really was in the 50 area for, 10-point plus trade. That's pretty nice trading. So we nailed the direction, we had the level right, and we had that one element that we needed, deceleration. And if you'd taken the trades, you'd be a pretty happy camper. I don't trust the short side of the market. I don't think sometimes we get 2 days worth of selling, occasionally 3 or 4, but not often. So right now, lower high, lower low, find a place to sell it. And looking at the day session, it's definitely a B with volume below time, so we could come in and we could be sellers. And so have this high at 53.50, have this low over here at 52, so selling the 52, 55 area, let them get stops above that D period high would be S1. Then selling 58s to 60 for sell 2. Boy, sometimes that mouse just goes nuts. And I don't know, sometimes 1/8 of an inch moves the thing an 1/8 of an inch, and sometimes it moves at a 1/2 inch. That time it moved at the 1/2 inch. On the buy side, 40 to 42. We have that breakout from 36.50, so 35.37 for buy 2. We have news tomorrow. ADP employment, 165. Friday's non-farm payroll, looking for 185, higher than the ADP number. PMI services, don't have the new number, 51.4. ISM services, 56. Crude inventories, they'll be hoping for a draw, believe me. So the focus will be ADP followed by ISM services at 56. Okay, on the note, in the bond this morning, we liked the short side first. We thought they could trade down, especially if they got a little help from the E-mini. The E-mini was at least moving sideways. And you ask why we spend all the time working with the note as opposed to the bond, and it's because that's where the volume is. Lower high, lower low on F1, find a place to sell it. Kind of a saddle formation. So we had buyers down, well, basically 8 to 12, and we had sellers above 20. That's probably where we are this morning. So tomorrow morning. 19s to 23s, sell 1. 27s, 31s, sell 2. On the buy side, I'll make it 9 to 13, buy 1. 1 to 5, buy 2. Why, my B is pretty miserable right up there. Now, when you're learning the method, first you got to learn the methodology. Then you have to recognize it real time. Then you have to act upon it. So you recognize it real time. That's sim trading. And then when you finally move to live trading, you should have, at the end of 1 month on sim trading, you should have a positive account balance. Or, if you want to speed it up, 10 profitable days in a row. Then you have it. And then you go into live trading, and live trading is learning how to let your winners run. And it's difficult to do. Okay, looking at the 30-year, 12 to 16, number 1 resistance, so 23, 27, sell 1. Actually, let's make it 1923, sell 1. 3103, sell 2. On the buy side, we have support at the buck to 04, where we were this morning. 25.29, buy 1. And then 9 to 13, buy 2. I think the danger's to the downside in treasuries, especially if the E-mini kicks in and shows some strength. I know a lot of trading is frustration. I know, you sit there and say, God, all I'm doing is breaking even right now, and I'm making a little money, but I can't keep it. But it's part of the process, and it's part of becoming disciplined. Going from trading on the market's money, but not being able to keep it, to being able to keep it, it's following your business plan. When you've made your business plan, you don't stop trading. You go to sim to increase your capabilities, increase your expertise, work more trades into what you're doing. But the key is, and it's the same problem that you have in Vegas. In Vegas, they know if they can keep you at the table, no matter how much money you've won, eventually they get it back because the odds are stacked in the house's favor. And that's just exactly what happens in the futures market. Your money ahead, you get a little sloppy. Your money ahead, you don't follow your stops. You let bad trades run. Then you're behind where you were. Now you really have to try and scramble because you can't go home not making less than what you had before, and it just compounds itself. So don't be too hard on yourselves. Gold, looking for 1378. I think they probably get it in London tonight. Still like the long side of the market. There will be some profit taking there, but right now, if we get through 1375, you have to think in terms of 1400. So, selling failure to take out and hold 75, 77. Then 79.81 for sell 2. Really don't like the short side of the market. This breakout came from 68, so last rotate down was 71. So 68, 70 by 1. And then 65, 63 by 2. Crude oil, how low will it go? I really, again, markets always go farther than you think they are going to go, or maybe just not quite to where you think it should go. So we're under heavy selling right now. We had two pretty heavy sales days in a row. This all started at 46. We've come down to 39.50. $6.50. That's a pretty big move. You can see right up here, this 42 and a quarter, 42.50 is a pretty clean break in the market, and then 43.50. So 42.50, 43.50. Pick up this high over here. That low at 42.70. That high right there at 42.08. This is where resistance is. We've got these single prints down here. We got this high volume number at 38.28. So somewhere between 37 and 38, we ought to find support, and I hope that's it for this go around. Cost of production, pretty much anywhere these days for new stuff brought online, unless you're exploiting an old field for new production. Wildcat is $40 a barrel. And they do have to replace reserves too. And they usually replace reserves by infill drilling. Adding to reserves is usually done by wildcatting. So right now, crude oil looks to be headed lower. Definitely confirmed on the F2 screen. So we have this low at 39.86, 39.85. Got the high up here at 40. Oh, the spill, I think it looks like 40.20, 40.22 is the last rotate up in E period. That was the move out of the middle. So we expect consolidation in London, maybe a little bit higher. Find out where resistance is. So we're going to sell 75s to the buck. On the buy side, we're going to buy 39 even to a quarter. Then 40 and a quarter, 40.50. And then 38.50, 38.75 for buy 2. Pick up this area right down there. And last but not least, the euro. Very strong market today. Everything will be pointed up overnight. This high volume number up here at 13 and a quarter, 13.50. So 12.75, 1300 will be resistance. Maybe 12.50, 12.75. Be looking at a P on the F2 screen. So 12.50 sell 1, 12.75 sell 2. The buy side, the breakout came from 12.30. So 12.25 buy 1, 112 even buy 2. Weakness in the dollar, strength in the yen. Nothing's good is going on in Europe with banks failing the stress tests and the rest of it. But it didn't stop it from rallying. Hey, that's it for August the 2nd, 2016. I will see you bright and early in the morning.